How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Software Inc. and welcome back to Nerdrosoft. If you would be willing, I would like to rant and ramble at you for just a moment because I have had a couple of days. It's been a long week. It's been a good week, but it's been a long week. A little while ago, I ordered a new computer because the one that I'd been using for a lot of my gaming stuff was getting a little bit older, and the one I was using for all of my recording was even older. So the old gaming PC is now my recording and streaming PC, and I got a completely new gaming PC, which is basically set up to run GTA 7. But obviously a part of the process of getting that PC in here was taking the old ones apart. And that was a little bit bittersweet because the old recording PC is one that I've had for nearly 9 years. So it has been used to either run the games I've been recording, or it's been used to record basically every single video on this channel for the last 9 years. So that was a little bit bittersweet to finally be retiring that PC. But it's great to have something new. It's great to have something that's hopefully going to last a good long time. I will try to remember to put the specs in the comments just in case you happen to be curious. But I will say the process of taking apart my office was a genuine 3-day nightmare. Day one was building the new desk, getting the new computer in here, grabbing some old monitors to make sure everything's set up and working. I did decide to use Star Citizen as the first game to run on the new system, and if you know anything about Star Citizen, you know it's a monster to run at sort of full settings, and it did it flawlessly, which is great. But unfortunately, my old method of recording doesn't work anymore. And that's something that I want to talk about the most because I, like I mentioned, use 2 PCs for my work. One does the recording, one does the gaming. And that way the recording doesn't impact the performance of the games that I'm recording. But I used to do that through a capture card that was inside of the old recording PC. It's an Elgato capture card. It's very, very good, and I've used it for years. But by virtue of it being considerably older or something weird with the motherboard in the now recording PC, there is latency, there's artifacting, there's screen tearing, and it won't do 60 FPS. It will do 59.94, which is an old NTSB frame rate from broadcast television as opposed to PC gaming, but that's besides the point. But what I can do is stream from one PC to the other completely losslessly, which is what I'm doing. And if you've been around content creation for like about a decade and a half, that should be blowing your mind, because it's blowing my mind. Now, for context, I have been doing this for a very long time, not necessarily on this channel, but just in general. I have been around gaming content creation on YouTube for the better part of a decade and a half. And when I first got started, the only options that you really had for capturing gameplay were softwares called Fraps and one called Bandicam, which I'm sure some of you are familiar with. Over time, other options came along. People started using XSplit originally before OBS eventually came around. People used something called DxTory at one point, but all the while back in those early days, capture cards were super expensive to get and just figure out. It was a whole thing. So, 6 years ago, being able to use capture cards for PC gaming to capture that was kind of a big deal for me. And now I don't even need to do that. I'm using a piece of software on the gaming PC called Sunshine, and I'm using another piece of software on the recording PC called Moonlight. And what Sunshine does is it broadcasts whatever is on my display. What Moonlight does is it captures it, and it's completely lossless. The quality is 1-to-1. The latency is virtually not there whatsoever because I'm doing it over my own little local network. And that as a thing is completely wild to me, having got started in this industry when the options for recording your gameplay were limited to basically Fraps. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much more of your time with this specific rant and ramble. This is, of course, a ConflictNerd video, so there will be plenty more rants and rambles to come, and hopefully I'll put like a little thing at the bottom of the screen that shows you like the progress of my rant, so you can skip this if you want to, and if you have done that, you're not listening to this part anyway. So That's fun. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's play some softwaring. This is the first video I'm recording on this new PC, and yeah, I could have probably picked a game that's slightly more intense, like Cities Skylines 2, which does run really nicely, and there will be some videos on that. But yeah, let's get to it. So first things first, Denara1992 in the comments of the last episode said, just a reminder, you need to create a new digital distribution system. It was starting to lose features a few episodes ago. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm very glad that someone's paying attention, because obviously I am not. You're completely right. We will go ahead and make it. It's not going to be Marketplace 2. It is probably never going to be Marketplace 2, but we'll put this in the store server. We will source control it as we usually do. And for the teams working on this, it's going to be the usual me plus core team. We don't really need the 3D team on this. We could probably put the networking team on this though, since that is something that we're doing here. So I think actually it might not be the worst idea to give the networking team just a little bit of work here. And I also saw a comment from Matthew388 who said the way the updates team has been sat there this episode and last and been like, do we not exist to you? Maybe we put the updates team in here as well. They haven't, they've got one task right now. So I think we'll give them, I mean, they don't have designers. We'll give them the development task. We'll not put them on the design task because they're essentially useless for that, which gives us way more people working on this than we're ever going to need. But I think I'm okay with that. And I think we'll go ahead and start developing this new version of Marketplace, which is hopefully not going to take too long. It did say less than a year, so we're going to hope for the best on that one. Now, when it comes to City Sim, which I did ask you about in the last episode, I believe, I do have a new name in mind for this, and this comes from no_FPS, who said Horizon Metropolis is the best name for City Sim, and I kind of agree. I think Horizon Metropolis is a pretty solid name. I like the idea of Horizon sort of being kind of the brand, sort of the way Dungeons is never Dungeons 2, it's always Dungeons something. We could do Horizon, you know, Metropolis as the first one. If we want to do a spin-off one day. Oh, I've just realized. Maybe Metropolis should be the thing, because I've just had a... No, it wouldn't be Metropolis. I've just realized if Horizon is the brand, we could theoretically one day do something like Horizon Medieval. So Horizon is the city builder brand, and then one day we do a spin-off game that is a medieval city builder. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting ahead of myself. Horizon Metropolis, we're going to move that into beta. And I guess in terms of marketing, I don't know when that's going to go out. I think what we do is we just wait. We give it some time. We see how many bugs get fixed. And I think ultimately what's most likely going to happen here with Horizon Metropolis is I'm gonna use this as our entry into the city builder space. I know I'd mentioned at the end of the last episode, I went on this big rant and ramble about what we're doing next with Software Inc. I'm going to give it time. I'm going to sort of see what happens. There were some suggestions to maybe do a big like 4 or 5 hour live stream and have that sort of fill the time between now in February 2007 and closer to, you know, 2012, 2013 when we want to start developing a Cities Skylines clone. I'm going to see what happens over the course of the next couple of episodes. We might still do that at some point, or I'll just do sort of a supercut episode where I just record for like 6 hours and turn that into like a big 2 hour block showing you the, you know, the main things that happened in there. But I do think it's going to be good if we want to have success with our cities sort of franchise. Maybe we do Horizon Metropolis. Maybe we do Horizon Metropolis 2, kind of the way Colossal Order did Cities in Motion and Cities in Motion 2. And then we'll come up with something else for our version of Cities Skylines, even though realistically Horizon Metropolis kind of has the same vibes, just backwards. It would be Metropolis Horizon. Anyway, that's my plan. we're going to let this thing develop. We're going to keep an eye on Marketplace. We obviously have Goblin Bowl in the works as well. And we probably want to look into automating. Well, actually, no, I probably don't want to look into automating too much more right now. We are still technically developing Harmony 4. Well, I say developing, my subsidiary is developing Harmony 4. If we look at their details, they are still aiming for December of 2008, which is over a year and a half away, but I'm kind of excited to see what they do with that. Now, in other news, something I'm considering, and this is also something that I have seen mentioned in the comments a few times, is the idea of getting some night shift teams for our operating system development. So currently, as you can see, we only have one team working on phone development. We have one team working on computer operating system development. It might not be the worst idea in the world to basically copy this team, do OS, phone, and then sort of night afterwards. We could sort of do the same thing with these guys and put day afterwards. And then basically do the same thing with these guys as well. We put day after this one, and then we want to go and copy this and do night here as well. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to do all that much to speed up our development, because something that does happen with Software Inc., and this is something I've been reminded so many times over the years, is the simple fact that with Software Inc., you do sort of end up with diminishing returns. It's kind of like, you know how like 20 years ago, when you played a video game and you looked at it and you're like, man, this looks so realistic. Like I remember playing Halo 1, which was 25 years ago, rather, over 25 years ago now. But I remember playing Halo Combat Evolved and thinking this looks just like real life. And now you look back on it 25 years later and you're like, this looks like garbage. It's the opposite of that. It's kind of like how a video game that came out maybe in 2018, maybe Red Dead Redemption 2, can still look incredible almost 8 years later. Because like the graphical jumps and the graphical leaps aren't that huge anymore. The way they kind of were going from like PS2 era to Xbox 360 era. Have you ever noticed how console generations don't have big graphical leaps and bounds anymore? Not really. It's kind of that. It's that same concept in Software Inc. So eventually you hit this point where you just don't get much of a benefit from having more people working on something. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case with something like a computer operating system, and I'm not 100% sure that that really applies, given that these guys are going to be just working in a different time. But that's kind of why I'm not just going to make a bigger team, because one bigger team isn't really going to do all that much for us. I think having people sort of more kind of working around the clock might be a slightly better bet. Now, what we will have to do is go through and make sure that these teams are assigned properly. So we want to get the phone night shift team in here as well. We want to go to our operating system teams and say something similar for these spaces just here. So we want to go to computer night shift team. And then we just need people to run the teams and everything should be fine. So if we go, we're going to look for lead and am I ever going to automate development of a computer operating system? We probably could, right? Like eventually, once we do, we'll manually do doors too, and then maybe throw it into project management. So having someone that can do automation might be really important in here, just in case I decide that I want to do that. So looking by skill, we have Jaylene Hale, who can do HR and automation with a little bit of socialization. You're probably going to be my my pick. So we'll put you on the computer night shift team. And then honestly, it's kind of the same setup here. So you can do quite a lot of things. You can go on my my phone night shift team is what you can do. You can do everything that I need you to do. If we look at those teams and we go to our roles, we want to set you as the leader. And this is the phone team. I think you are an artist as secondary, so that's fine. For the computer team, you're a designer as secondary, so we'll manage your roles. We'll say leader, designer, and then nothing else. And then those teams should start, and they have started to hire people, which is fantastic news, which means we can go over here to NOS2 and we can assign the phone night shift team to that project, and we can assign to Doors Enterprise Edition the computer night shift team to that project as well. Which I'm kind of curious, actually, how many employees does that mean that we have now? If I select everybody, we have 406 employees at Nerdrasoft now, which is actually not like it's a lot. That's a lot of people, but I think usually by the time I'm a multi-billion-dollar company, I usually have way more employees than that. So in other news, I have sort of decided what I want to do with this building right here. We have 4 floors available, and that sort of has me thinking that I might split 2 teams across these floors, because I have seen a couple of comments talking about the simple fact that we might need more marketing teams. There was a comment in the last episode from Sweet Daddy D1314. That's a great name. Who said, do we maybe need more marketing teams? I'm noticing we're not completing the marketing tasks on the side of the screen, and instead of talking about needing more accountants, how about we just do it? You're right. I think more marketing teams might be a really solid idea. I think it's about time. I have noticed that we weren't completing those tasks. I just kind of, so here's how my brain works, sort of. Basically, the reason I've not been really worried about marketing thus far is because we're still making just a ridiculous ton of money. So my mindset's kind of like, yeah, we're not completing these marketing tasks, but we're still making tens of millions of dollars. Now, that is dumb, to be clear and to be fair. That is a dumb approach for me to take, because you know, it's kind of like, what about second breakfast? What about second tens of billions of dollars? Right? We're making tens of billions of dollars despite not finishing our marketing tasks. My brain should be going, hey, think about all the tens of millions of dollars that you're not making because you're not finishing those marketing tasks. So for that reason, that's what we're going to do in this building over here, is basically just put ourselves a whole bunch being 2 new marketing teams, and they'll be sizable enough. I mean, one across this floor, and then one here and here. So they're going to be decently sized marketing teams is my thinking. We do have marketing 1 through 4 right now. And I think you know what I can do? I realize I could do 4 new marketing teams because we can do the night shift marketing teams. Oh, I love that. Okay. Let me copy this name. Let me copy this team. This is going to be marketing 5, and then copy you and do marketing 6. And then we'll copy you and we'll do marketing 7. We'll copy you again. We'll do marketing 8. So that's a lot. That's going to be a lot of people. We're going to have to do a fair bit of work in here. But what we can do is go to these rooms right here, and we can switch this out from CEO to marketing 5 and 7, if I'm not mistaken. That was almost a different number completely. It was 5-7, by the way. And we'll do not the CEO, but marketing 6 and 8 in these rooms right here. So that should be totally fine. This room is going to be set for leaders, which means those guys get some dedicated spaces. If we look across these 2 little these rooms here, we have all those chairs. We have all these chairs here. That is 29 people, which might be too much for a single, pair of marketing teams. But I guess multiple tasks, they can get all of them done. So yeah, 29 chairs plus 1 for the leader is kind of a lot. And again, that's 5 and 7. So for this team, we want to go to here. We want to go, man, we're going from 9 to 29. That is absolutely wild. We can educate like, I don't know, 10 of them at a time, I suppose. And traits wise, as much as I like, actually, no, that one's fine. Now that I think about it, it's number 7 that needs the night owls. And so as I go through here and set the final leader for marketing 8 to a leader and service as secondary, if we run things, we should see these teams slowly start to fill up, which is going to take some time. But that's honestly okay. It's not the end of the world if it takes a little while for those to get sorted out. I think I'm going to let them keep their headphones because noise might still become a problem in these spaces given how close together everybody happens to be. But the idea, I suppose, is that we could now go, well, I mean, the teams kind of need to fill up before I start giving them a bunch of work, but the idea would be that we can now spread out all of our marketing tasks across whatever it is, that we're doing here. And it should mean that those marketing tasks actually do get finished as opposed to not getting finished the way they have been. Now, in other news, it looks like Gungeon is pretty much ready to go into beta. Did we review this already? It doesn't look like we did. Let's send it out to Board Limited and see what they happen to think of Gungeon at the moment. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping that team has done some good work. I'm going to be kind of annoyed if they haven't done some good work, given that Gungeon... Can we see when that entered development? July of 2002. It's going to be 5 years of development on this thing. That's kind of insane. It also apparently doesn't have enough programmers or artists. We might want to consider a night shift development team for game development. We might really want to look into that. We also have a lot of complaints from different employees. We'll figure that out shortly. I want to see what they think of Gungeon. It is a 9.9. The creativity sucks. Oh no. Now that I don't think is going to get better. Unfortunately. We're going to promote it is what we're going to do. I can deal with a 9.9. We're going to promote that. Man. So here's my thing. Oh wow, we just paid a lot in taxes. Okay, yeah, that's also, is the music on? I've just noticed. Hold on a minute. I forgot. So just for clarity, in case anyone's ever wondered, the music that is in these videos is added in post. I bought the soundtrack on Bandcamp. It's great. It's easier because like when I cut from like one part to the other, I want the music to continue if it's playing as opposed to like cutting and fading out and stuff like that. I forgot to turn it off. That's gonna catch me in just about every game that I play because I mean I've reinstalled everything and it's all gone back to default settings. That's gonna be a pain. Anyway, I think what we might need to do is have a little bit of a look at our games FPS dev team. I think I want to do, I think I want to do a night shift or a day shift for these guys. And I think I want to do a night shift for these guys as well. Just because it took them 5 years to make Gungeon. I don't want to take another I mean, it won't take another 5 years to do another one, but I would like them to, I'd like them to be a little bit quicker with that. That's really, really not good. That is a ridiculous amount of time. So what we'll do is HR manage this. We can stick with medium salaries and for traits as much as, well, no, I think we'll be fine as long as we don't have any. Yeah, we'll be all right. Let's find a leader for this. They probably won't need automation, although it wouldn't hurt just in case they end up being the head of the project. So let's do automate. They need HR and automation basically, and that should be all right. If we begin looking here, sort by skill, we have Francis Huffman. You are pretty much what I'm looking for. You can do a bit of law, you can do a bit of art as well. So I guess we put you on the night shift here. We'll get you hired. We can go to roles and say leader and artist as secondary. That'll hopefully fill out that team relatively quickly, because that team is going to be 5 p.m. until 1 a.m. as per usual. And then we need to assign them to, hold on a minute. So you need to go here and you need to go here. I think that's the 2 spaces. Yeah. So we'll get you assigned to this. We'll get our games FPS night shift there. And they're complaining, presumably, because I need to add them to this space as well. So if I put them games night there, we're good. Okay, perfect. Oh no, this is interesting. Yesterday we got a notification that Board Limited doesn't have the capacity to deal with more work. I assume that's because I gave them the review of Gungeon, so we need to be mindful of the fact that they are not doing particularly well for themselves right now. But that'll be fine, I am sure. I have gone ahead and put the night shift team on Gungeon. Not that it's going to do much for it right now, but I think that's fine. When it comes to Horizon Metropolis, given that it's probably, I mean, when did we start developing that? April 2003. So 4 years ago. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. So the whole idea behind these different game dev teams and these different buildings was to essentially create a space where we can bring in, kind of like what we've done with the antivirus team, right? So we have game sim dev in the same way we're going to want game sim marketing, porting, updates, and support. So if I rename this, we'll copy that name. If I can do, so that's the dev one. We want a marketing one. So we're going to copy antivirus and just sort of go for marketing here. We want to do porting. So we'll copy that and do a porting team here. We want a support team. So same story. We want support, and then we want a dedicated updates team for this. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that these guys aren't going to be project managed just yet. So it's going to take a little bit before they're all up and working. I'm going to be doing a lot of this manually, but I think having these dedicated teams in here is going to be really beneficial to us. So let's figure out where they're all going to go. Now, the update side of this is going to require a bit of everything. So I think that's going to need to be a pretty decently sized team. So let's do the updates team on the top floor with the game sim. Actually, no, because we might do a night shift on that. How many chairs do we have in here? 16. So one of those will be a team leader. We want to do game sim updates in here. We can go to that team and we can say 15. That's perfect. And then I guess marketing and support can share this space here. I think that'll be totally fine. That fills out the entire building now with teams that are going to be completely revolving around the Horizon Metropolis franchise. The only thing we need to do is get ourselves some employees that can lead these things. Now, I think what we'll do is look for HR and automation. We'll look for some programmers, and these guys are going to go for porting and I guess porting and updates would be the two for this. So we'll begin looking, sort by skill. We have Baylor Mayers, who is kind of fantastic. So we're going to hire you. We're going to look for the, I guess, updates team for you is probably the best place for you. And then we have you. I think you can go in the, in what was the other one? Porting? No, was it porting? Yes, it was porting. Okay. So you're going to go to the porting team. And so with those teams now automated, they are hiring, which is fantastic news. The marketing team will probably take its time because we're also hiring for the other marketing teams, which can be lumped into some of the automations at some point. We don't need to have dedicated teams for everything, but this was the point of these buildings, was to have some dedicated, you know, project management-ish teams going on here. So we'll see how this works out. I think when it comes to both Gungeon and Horizon Metropolis, I mean, this is the thing. We are not known in either of these franchises. So I want to say the more marketing, the better. The longer, the more time we give the marketing teams to do their thing, the better. So what am I willing to do here? If we look at upcoming releases, if we look at the event calendar, In November, there's a sports game. So Gungeon, or wait, no, we're not doing it. It's Goblin Ball's nowhere near ready to go. That's okay. There is a simulation game in December, which could be slightly problematic for Horizon. Do I want to push it to 2008 is the question. I honestly don't really know. And that's kind of the thing. We could be a little quick with it. We could announce both of them now in May and go for like a September, October release date, go for a really, really quick marketing push. I think just because they've both been in development for 4 and 5 years, I think we do the quicker marketing push just to start the ball rolling on us being known in these two spaces. So I'm going to say, even though we have competition in December, I'm going to say October for both of them. That might be a really bad idea, but I'm thinking October. I think I think we give this a shot and we see what happens here. So we'll go for 2007. We're going to go for October. I know this isn't the most efficient way to do things, but it's just what we're doing. It's just how we're going to do this. What we will do is get our marketing teams here. We will put this team on it, and then we'll do 5 and 7 on this as well. So we'll have 3 teams working on that press release, and I think that's a pretty solid idea. We can do some hype as well, which is going to be you, and you. So the same team's going to be working on hyping Horizon Metropolis. And then when it comes to Gungeon, which by all intents and purposes, we should probably do a built-out team for this. Because again, that was kind of the point. Oh man, we're hiring a lot of people today. We're hiring a lot of people today, but I think it's a good idea. And so just like that, we now have leaders on all of these teams. They are all set up to come through here at different times during the day, which means we can go to Gungeon and we can say that we want to start marketing this, but we want to use not 5 and 7, but we want to use, I should probably search for marketing here, 6 and 8, as well as the FPS marketing team. They're going to be working on that press release. And then we'll also get the same 2 teams to hype everything. And we'll hope that that just makes things that little bit quicker. So we'll go to hyping. It is not going to be these guys. We are again going to search for marketing, and it is you guys that are going to be doing all of that hyping. So this should mean that we find ourselves a little bit more prepared and ready and able to market things like Dungeons Eternal and to market things like NOS and just market things in general, because that should now put us in a spot where we just have more marketers, and that's gonna hopefully be a bit of a good thing. I've got no idea if people are going to be interested in Gungeon or Horizon Metropolis, but I think what we do is maybe aim for 100,000 copies of both of those. I think we can print both and just sort of see what happens there. We can hope for the best and hope that people are going to be excited about them. At the very least, I'm excited about the fact that we have more people coming into these buildings now. I did also move the networking team up into this space because originally they were in, I think, this office, so they had to be shifted across, but they should be fine. They seem like they like it in there. So moving away from building all of these new teams, I want to turn my attention to something that's very important to the company, and that is, of course, Dungeons Eternal, which has made ridiculous amounts of money, as we know. Now, we have moved away from the yearly expansions. We do have 5.2 million active users right now, which is just ridiculous. And if we look at our releases, we have been making, wait, did Dragon Riders, look at that. Oh, you love to see it. Oh, you love to see it. That makes me very, very happy. It did 1.6. Okay, so people really like Dragon Riders. That's kind of cool. All right. So we need to start working on our next expansion. It is going to be October of this year. We're going to be aiming for, let me just double check something. Yes, it is. So we're doing basically yearly expansions at this point. So we did, if we look at releases here, we did October last year. We skipped March this year. We're doing October this year again. And by the way, I've seen a few people asking if you can automate expansions. As far as I know, you can't. So this is something I will need to keep coming back to for a little while. And also, if you have any ideas for Dungeons Eternal expansions, keep them coming. There's been a lot of great ones. But what we're going to be doing today is making an expansion pack based on a comment from Golden Course Horse 123, who said, that's a great name, who said, I have an idea for a DLC called The Dark Realm, where you could say that an ancient Dark Lord has awakened to conquer the world of eternity, kind of like Sauron from the Lord of the Rings. I love this as an idea. I want to slightly change the title from The Dark Realm to Realm of the Dark Lord. Well, no. You know what? The Dark Realm, actually, yeah, we'll stick with yours is better. We should like swap places. That's the Dark Realm is a little bit more punchy. But the idea for this, I like this as an idea because a lot of what we've been doing with Dungeons story this past while has been retreading old ground. So even with something like Dragon Riders, it was sort of building off the back of the mounts and taming thing that we did so many years ago. So this, the Dark Realm, I love the idea that it's introducing a new villain and a new storyline. I feel like we could bring in a new, well, I'm not going to do playable characters because I don't know what they would necessarily be. Haven't really figured that one out. I don't have an idea in my head of what the classes would be, so this gets a little bit too into the weeds for me. But it would be a new story. It would have new dialogue. It would have new character customization options. It would have new environmental objects. It would improve the map a little bit. There would be some new boss fights. And I think that's about all we need to do. Now, we can use Palette Pro 3 for this. We can use Voxel 6 for this. And the design teams on this will be the usual bunch. So we'll put the core teams on this as well as myself. I know these teams are kind of bouncing around doing a bit of everything, but that should be okay. I think since we're not doing any networking, we'll not worry about that. We are doing a little bit of 3D work though. So we'll put the 3D team on here just because we can. And then again, we'll put the same teams on the actual development of this thing. I think the Dark Realm, introducing a new villain, a new big bad for this year's expansion is kind of exciting. I think it's a pretty cool idea. So we'll go ahead and start developing the Dark Realm, and essentially whatever happens, I love that it's already selected October. Whatever happens, it releases in October. It's that simple. And then in terms of marketing this, given that we don't have all that much that these teams are doing, I think we go and say marketing teams 5 through 8 or not. How many have I got? I don't however many marketing teams I have, they're going to be, yeah, they're going to be working this. So that'll be fine. That'll give us a lot for them to do. That'll keep them nice and busy. We can start to hype this as well. I think that's probably a pretty solid idea. So we'll get the marketing teams here as well. So we want 5 and 7 there. We will get them hyping this, and hopefully it gets done in time for release in October. Now, admittedly, it is day 2 of April, and usually we get these things done pretty quickly. So I think we're going to be fine. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully people like it. Hopefully people are excited about it. I know I'm excited about it. And it also looks like Horizon Metropolis has a press release good to go. How's it looking? 22 followers. Nice. Okay, good. Not at all worried about that. Oh no, this is a first for this series. We've just had the team leader from Marketing 2 retire, which is a little bit sad. If we have a look in here, we can see how long they were with us for. It was Jackie Cortez, 14 years. We had someone with us for 20 years that's already retired. That's wild. It is a little wild. Okay, so Marketing 2 needs a team leader. That's fine, I guess. We'll look for HR. We'll look for socialization. I guess. Multitasking is good too, though, because they can get some bonuses, but I think we'll go socialization. We'll begin looking. We'll look for, we want to go specifically for marketing 2 here. And I need some compatibility, but I'm going to be honest, that skill is tough to turn down. So a little bit of improved effectiveness with marketing tasks. Unfortunately, you don't do marketing tasks, but I don't know if that applies to the entire team. I doubt it. I think that's your individual skill. What about you? You can do marketing, you can do socialization, you can't do multitasking, but I think you'll be fine. You're also a little bit younger. So sure, we're gonna hire you to marketing 2. We'll go to our employees, we'll go to you, we'll change you out. We're gonna say you're just a leader for now. We'll actually give you service as secondary because I think you were able to do it. And that should keep marketing 2 nice and happy. That keeps their HR management ticking along, which is fantastic news. And I've also been thinking about some of these buildings over here because we keep getting these complaints about employees not being able to find food, and it's kind of getting annoying. So I'm gonna try to do something about that. And I think the way I'm gonna try and do this is by going into build mode. We'll make it daytime so I can see here. And then I want to make this into a room. I want to make this into a room as well. I want this and this to be rooms. I want this to be a room. Same with these guys. We're going to go up and say that this will be a room. This will be a room. Same here and same here. And then basically we can just put a bunch of vending machines in all of these spaces. We will have to move a lot of those fire alarms, which is something I need to remember to do. But this will give us, I mean, it'll otherwise give us space for vending machines, which I think will be kind of fantastic. We'll do those 2. We'll do those 2 right there. And then all I need to do is grab those spaces and merge them. And it keeps the pillars on the outside while giving me space for just a whole bunch of vending machines all the way across here. We can do something like here as well, up on the top floors. We could even do maybe some water coolers. We could do some coffee machines in the hallways if we wanted to. We've got some options. We definitely have some options. Let's go for, let me see here. Let me get this. Let me get this. We can maybe put it in that space. We can put one in that space. And I think I will do, it's maybe a little bit weird to just have an espresso machine in the hall, but it's probably going to make my employees a little bit happier. And I think that's probably going to be the benefit of all of this. And there we go. We have a bunch of vending machines in here. We have a bunch of coffee machines in here. We have those all the way up through the buildings as well. So hopefully people are going to stop complaining about not being able to find any food, which they are continuing to do. They're also complaining about their social needs not being met, which is less than ideal, but they will hopefully be okay, is what they will hopefully be. Now, I would like to see, what are we up to? 536 employees. That's kind of wild. Also worth pointing out, me and Sandra have been with this company for 27 years. I was right. Sanford has been here for 26. I love that. It also makes me sad that, I mean, admittedly, he's a little bit older. Sanford, if nothing tragic happens to him in the next 11 years, he will be retiring in 11 years. And it's also just a little it's a little wild that we're over halfway through on these characters as well. They will stay here until they're 64 and then they retire, and then I will have to appoint a new CEO for the company, and thus far I've got no idea who that would be. So that's going to be a fun time is what that's going to be. It's definitely going to be a fun time. Now, in other news, I want to put my updates team to work just a little bit. I want to put the porting team to work as well on a couple of things, assuming they're not doing anything right now. Looking at Palette Pro 3, there's a lot of verified bugs that need to be fixed. So we're going to go in here and we're going to say that our updates team, the support updates team, can get to work on that and hopefully get that done nice and quickly. We do have some bugs in Dungeons Eternal that we need to figure out, but I think Well, we're going to need to do some other things as well. The 3D needs to come up to date, which will be voxel 6. The 2D needs to come up to date, which will be palette, so we can't really do that just yet. I think we hold off on doing this because we need to update Harmony as well. So let's look at Harmony here. The 2D, so we need to do palette basically is what I'm realizing here. Okay, that's that's totally fine. We can let them sort of get through that update hopefully nice and quickly, and that'll keep them nice and happy. The Dark Realm is ready for development, which is great news. We're nicely on track with that one. And I guess we should have a little look in here and make sure that Palette Pro 3 is on everything it needs to be on. So it is going to be the porting team doing this. It is on everything it needs to be on. Guardian isn't my business. Voxel isn't my business. NOS is my business, but it doesn't get ported to anything. Also, 1 million active users on Palette Pro 3 is really nice. That's beautiful. Dungeons Eternal, still climbing. We're up to 5.4 million active users. If this thing keeps doing what it's doing, it might pass $1 billion in revenue, which is kind of crazy, and I'm kind of here for it. Now, as is tradition, we are the best employer. I'd be annoyed if we weren't. It's gonna be, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, that's not happened in a while. Okay, I'm slightly surprised by this one. Best designer is gonna be me, okay, and most profitable product is also every time. I knew it before it even showed up. I knew it was gonna be Guardian 11. I have seen, by the way, and it's not lost on me that we have a ton of awards sitting in, like, look at this. Most of these, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's a lot of best employer awards. This one here is kind of fantastic. Which I love. I love this. But if we start looking into best products, we have, hold on, can I filter these? If I look, if I just search for, best product. So we have 2007 Palette Pro 3, which was this year. 2006 was Guardian 11. Best product 5 years running was 2005. Then it was Guardian 10 in 2005. It was Doors Professional Edition 2004, Guardian 7 in 2003, Guardian 6 in 2002, Palette Pro 2 in 2001, Voxel 2. Oh, we didn't get one in 2000. That's a shame. Actually, I'm realizing Guardian hasn't been the best. I mean, it has. It's got an abundance of them, but it's not. There's 4 of them. Yeah, Guardian does pretty well for us. It does well. It's a little silly. I feel a little. I'm only disappointed that Guardian does so well simply because it's automated. It's that simple because it's automated, because I have nothing to do with it, and it's doing really well. Okay, so it is just about to be day 2 of October 2007, which I didn't mean to be as big of a month as it is going to be for this company, but we're going to be releasing the Dark Realm. We're going to be releasing Gungeon. We're going to be releasing Horizon Metropolis. We're also releasing Guardian 13 this month. NOS 2 is going into alpha this month, which is kind of huge. We want to make sure that the phone guys are all working on this the way they should be. Marketplace is in alpha as well. We have how many people? Almost 6.8 million people following the Dark Realm. I will admit, I forgot to print any copies of it, so that's going to be fun. Yeah. Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? That's great. Totally forgot to print. It's going to be an expensive purchase is what that's going to be. It's going to be. Maybe these things, you know what? Maybe we need to start working on the next one a bit sooner so that we can print the multiple millions of copies that we need. Because these things tend to only get like a month or 2 in beta, which is not enough to print 6 million copies. We can print 1.3, so we need like 4 or 5 months of beta to print enough copies to sell. That's annoying. That is annoying, but I think it's fine. We'll print as many copies as we can right now, and we'll see what ends up happening. The problem is that we're also aiming to print copies of Guardian 12 and Palette Pro and stuff like that. So we're not printing as many as we could, but that's fine. Man, it's a big month. It's a big month. I don't know where to get started. I guess the simple one is release the Dark Realm. Let's see what people think of it. It's 5s across the board, 5.9 million copies. That's a lot of money, but I guess we're going to. The marketing teams for this, I'm going to say marketing 1 and 2, just because I think they do good work. And then marketing, let's see here. Let's also go for marketing 5 and 7. And we'll give this I'm going to go a little higher than usual. I'm going to go 70,000 for the marketing budget on the Dark Realm, which should be more than enough. I think in terms of manufacturing for the Dark Realm, we're going to aim for about 200,000 copies, I think, just to make sure that we don't overprint that. When it comes time to look at Horizon Metropolis, it doesn't have a lot of followers, which is disappointing, but we'll go ahead and release it and see what people think of it. This is from a new team. No one knows who we are in this space. 5 stars, it's ambitious. 5 stars, it's brilliant. We can order some copies of that as well. And the marketing campaign for this will be our marketing team. So this is our sim marketing team. There's not that many people on it right now, which is fine. And we'll go for 6 and 8 on this one. There's not that many employees in those two teams either, but that should be enough. We'll give this a $50,000 marketing budget. We will order those copies just to see how that goes. And then finally, at long last, we are releasing Gungeon. Again, no one's going to know who we are in this space, but it is a magnificent piece of work. 4 stars. Eee. Ooh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Okay. That's fine. I kind of knew Gungeon would probably suffer a little bit. That's all right. Let's do 6 and 8 on this with that one team, and we'll give them a $50,000 budget and see how that works out for them. Now, I'm going to pause because we got a lot of things to figure out here. Horizon Metropolis is going to go up there with the Dark Realm. Gungeon is going to go up here as well. We need to rearrange our support stuff. We're actually looking okay. Is there anything I can sort of cancel support for here? NerdOS doesn't have that many followers. I'm going to cancel support of that because it's a little bit, it's a bit meh. Doors, I'm going to cancel support of that as well, just to tidy this up. Now, Horizon Metropolis, I want to see if we can update everything in this. It is way behind in terms of tech levels, but if we can bring it up to date today, that might be good for us. What we can do is get our updates teams on this. So support updates plus the game sim update team. That should be more than enough to make that happen. And then Gungeon is kind of the same thing, but worse because it's been in development for even longer. So Palette Pro, we want to do Voxel 6, we want to do Harmony 3, and then instead of the game sim team, we want to get the FPS updates team. There are a few people in there, not particularly great, but that should be fine. We can get them on it. I think I'm also going to throw the 3D team at this, and I'm also going to throw the networking team at this because I think we are updating, we are updating some network stuff. So we'll get a few more people on Gungeon to try and turn that around. I'm not really convinced that either of those are going to be particularly good, but we'll see. I am going to take the updates team out of the marketplace project because I need them to prioritize, obviously, updating things. And we're going to see what happens is what we're going to do. We're going to see what happens with all of this. We have everybody showing up to work. These updates are coming along, which is better than them not. The marketing teams are doing exactly what I wanted them to do, which is fantastic news. I'm very curious to see how the Dark Realm happens to sell, given that it had 6.7, almost 6.8 million followers. These updates don't look like they're going to be done today, which is really kind of concerning and kind of upsetting. Guardian 13 is out as well. So yeah, this is probably the biggest single month that the company has had in terms of releases anyway, which is hugely exciting. But I guess let's take a look here. We finished marketing for all of these. Marketing is sparse for the 2 new games, which I don't love. But the Dark Realm at minus $70,000 is going to turn into $79.1 million. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Oh man, I was not expecting that. We also made money in Horizon Metropolis, 1.5 million. Gungeon did 1.2. In terms of reviews, Gungeon sucks. Horizon Metropolis isn't great either, but we can fix both of those. We can make them good. Gungeon's been in development so long, it hasn't actually broken even. Add-ons wise, the Dark Realm, just how many did it just sell? It just did 79. It sold 5.2 million units in its first day. Oh, that never gets old. That never gets old. I mean, it might for you. I don't know about you, but that never gets old for me. That's that is wild. That is a wild amount of money. And I'm very happy about that. Oh, man. That makes me really happy. Okay, let's get Horizon updated. This down here, Gungeon, is unfortunately taking longer than I would like it to take. But I guess the networking is super outdated. I guess the 3D stuff. Oh no, the networking is going along now. It is just the 3D stuff that's really holding us back now. I did put the 3D team on this. Let's put the core team and me on this to see if we can get that along a little bit. It would be nice to see Gungeon fully updated, because right now it is a 5-year-old game that we've just put out. Also, the Dark Realm just dropped down to 2.3 million. I love when that happens. I always love when that happens. I love when it just like, 79 million, 2 million. I love that drop because you just get the day one sales and then no more. Also, Horizon jumped up a little bit. Gungeon jumped up a little bit. Dungeons Eternal is, if we look in here now, Dungeons Eternal is 1 month away from being a $1 billion game, which is ridiculous. And I love it. Now, something we should probably do is get Gungeon and Horizon Metropolis onto as many systems as we can. Now, we'll put the porting team and their specific porting teams on these jobs. I think what we do is we go for the top 5, which includes NOS. We'll get Doors Professional Edition in there as well. That just seems like a pretty good bet. And then the same story for Horizon Metropolis, except it's going to be the other porting team working on this one. So the Sim porting team will be doing this one. We'll go for everything down to about here as well. We'll get that all sorted out. It's going to take a while for those ports to happen, but I'm honestly okay with that. I think it gives us an opportunity to get a little bit of money over time as it releases on new systems. But man, the Dark Realm getting almost $80 million in sales in a single month. We did $120 million in net profit in a single. That's just wild. It's just absolutely wild to me. I love that. I really love that. That makes me so happy. It's still selling pretty well too. And what's also interesting now is Dungeons Eternal. There it is, over $1 billion, 5.8 million active users. And it's been 4 years since it came out. And it's never been more successful than it is right now. If we look at these, look at these numbers. Let's get a really good look at this thing. That's not what I wanted. Let's get a really good look at this thing. These charts are nuts. Like it was pretty rough at first. Like it was a really slow start and then it just sort of blew up and it's been kind of going ever since. We've done more money in November 2007 than ever before. $30.4 million is just wild. It's really kind of nuts just what this has been doing. And I love it. I really do. I absolutely love it. It makes me so happy. Reputation-wise, apparently, is this how many fans it has, or how many fans I have no idea what the reputation means. Reviews, apparently in November 2004, there were none. It's interesting. Okay. That's fine. It's been pretty consistent across the board, which is lovely. The market, like we went kind of right between graphics and story. I love that it's like, you know what? This is actually pretty accurate for an MMO, right? Like gameplay is secondary to just sort of the spectacle and the story. Because MMOs, like, don't get me wrong, like in this era, when this came out, this was what, 2003? So like a 2003 MMO was usually just like, you know, hey, go out there, kill 10 bears and bring me their ass. That was basically the entire thing. It's like, the world is in peril. However will we survive? The Dark Lord is rising from the caves. You, hero, head out there, slay 10 bears, and bring me their hide. Why? Don't ask questions. It doesn't matter. The world is in peril. Anyway, I think that's gonna do us for today. I'm quite happy with this idea of having the yearly releases for these expansions. Very excited to see how that works out for us going forward, because if the Dark Realm has anything to go by, it's going to go very well for us. And I suppose while Gungeon wasn't a runaway success, and while Horizons Metropolis wasn't a runaway success, I'm quite happy with those as the first entries into those genres. I think Gungeons 2 is going to need to be a thing. Honestly, Gungeons will probably get automated pretty quickly, so Gungeons 2 might just be an automated thing. And we'll see if we can turn Gungeons into the first-person shooter version of Guardians. Who knows what happens there. Horizons will probably stay a project that I manage because we do want to really, really knock it out of the park with our simulation games. But that is something we can worry about in the not too distant future, because that's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This has been an absolute pleasure, as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.